No one warns men. Not your father, not your teachers, not the world. You grow up believing that love is pure, that loyalty is natural, that women love the way men love, deeply, simply, and forever. But that illusion doesn't break gently. It shatters. It happens the first time you give your all. Your time, your energy, your heart. And watch her drift away like it meant nothing. Or the first time you see the woman you sacrificed for flirt with another man like you were invisible. Or worse. When she looks at you with eyes that used to burn with affection, and all you see now is boredom. That's the moment every man realizes. No one ever told him the truth about women. You see, most men learn about women the hard way. Not through guidance, but through pain, through heartbreak, through betrayal, through silence. Because society teaches men how to attract women, not how to understand them. You're told to be nice, be stable, be loyal. But no one tells you what happens when those very traits make her lose attraction. No one tells you that sometimes the harder you love, the faster she'll pull away. That's the cruel paradox. Women don't fall for men who need them. They fall for men they can't fully have. And until a man learns that truth, he's walking blind through a minefield, mistaking her affection for loyalty, her tears for love, her promises for permanence. Every man goes through this phase, the awakening. The moment where the world you thought was solid turns to smoke, where you realize that everything you were taught about relationships was only half true, the safe, comfortable half. Because the real truth about women is darker, more primal, more psychological. A woman doesn't choose based on logic. She chooses based on emotion. She doesn't stay because you're perfect. She stays because you make her feel something. And when that feeling fades, even if you've done everything right, she'll start to drift. And you'll stand there, confused, asking yourself, what did I do wrong? But you didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't understand the game. And here's the painful part. By the time most men learn how it really works, it's already too late. They've lost the girl. They've lost the peace. And sometimes they've lost themselves. This video isn't about blaming women. It's about arming men. Because in a world that rewards illusions and punishes truth, awareness is your only protection. So if you're a man who's ever been left, lied to, or made to feel replaceable, say, every man starts his journey believing in a fantasy, not the kind found in movies, but a quiet, personal illusion that love alone is enough. From a young age, you're taught that if you treat a woman right, if you stay loyal, protect her, and give her everything she needs, she'll love you forever. That's the dream, the foundation of how most men approach relationships. But here's the truth no one tells you. Love isn't enough. Not in the way you've been told it is. You see, men fall in love with what's real. Women fall in love with what they feel. That difference changes everything. When a man loves, he commits. He builds. He invests his future into her. But when a woman loves, she feels. And those feelings shift with time, environment, and perception. She doesn't choose who she loves the most. She chooses who makes her feel the most. That's why so many men get blindsided. Because while you're thinking, I've given her everything, she's thinking, I don't feel the same anymore. It's not that she stopped loving you out of logic. She stopped feeling the chemistry. And when that emotional current dies, her mind begins rewriting the story. He's changed. We've grown apart. I need to find myself. These are the polite words women use when what they really mean is, I don't feel what I used to feel. And that's the first illusion most men never recover from. The belief that love is a constant. It's not. It's conditional. Conditional on how she perceives you, how you make her feel, and whether or not you still represent the man she once admired. Here's where it gets darker. When you love a woman unconditionally, you think you're giving her security. But to her subconscious, it can signal stagnation. The moment she senses that she has all of you, that there's no mystery left, no chase, no uncertainty, her brain begins to quiet the very spark that made her fall in love in the first place. It's not intentional, it's biology. A woman's psychology evolved to seek the strongest, most capable man, one who could protect her, provide for her, and survive under pressure. That same wiring still exists today, even in a modern world where she doesn't need survival. She needs stimulation. If you stop being the man she respects, the one she looks up to, she can't feel the same level of attraction, no matter how much she loves you. So men pour out devotion, thinking it's strength, not realizing that too much security can kill desire. That's the illusion of love, believing that effort guarantees loyalty, that affection guarantees respect, that comfort guarantees connection. It doesn't. And until a man learns that love is emotional currency, not emotional charity, he'll keep giving everything away for free. And wondering why no one values it. Every woman lives inside a constant storm of evaluation, not consciously, not maliciously, but biologically. It's written in her DNA to choose carefully, because for thousands of years, her survival and her children's survival depended on one thing: choosing the right man, the strong one, the capable one, the man who could protect, provide, and persevere. That ancient instinct never disappeared. It simply adapted to the modern world. Now, instead of scanning for physical strength or hunting skills, women subconsciously scan for status, confidence, and dominance. They're wired to feel drawn toward men who make them feel safe yet excited. The protector and the conqueror, all in one. That's why you can't logic your way into attraction. You can't talk a woman into wanting you, because female attraction isn't rational, it's biochemical. It's rooted in instinct, emotion, and perception. She doesn't analyze your worth like a math problem. She feels it. She reads your tone, your posture, your presence. She listens not to your words, but to your energy. And here's where men often go wrong. They confuse female approval with female desire. Approval is what you get when you're polite, predictable, and safe. Desire is what you get when she feels your strength, your groundedness, your calm dominance, your ability to say no without flinching. Every woman tests a man's composure, not because she wants to destroy it, but because she wants to believe in it. She's not testing to reject you. She's testing to see if you can lead. When a man reacts emotionally to every mood swing, complaint, or withdrawal, she feels unsafe. Not physically, but psychologically. Because deep down, she's wired to seek a man whose emotions don't bend under pressure. That's the essence of female choice. It's not about looks or money alone. It's about how a man makes her feel when she pushes against him. Do you crumble? Or do you stay calm? Do you chase? Or do you hold your ground? Because to her instincts, your reaction tells her everything she needs to know. This is why some women can't resist men who seem unavailable, distant, or indifferent. It's not the coldness they crave. It's the certainty. Certainty that this man doesn't need validation. Certainty that his world doesn't collapse around her approval. That's power. And power is the most ancient form of attraction. Understanding this doesn't make you manipulative. It makes you aware. It lets you stop chasing attention and start commanding respect. Because once you understand how women choose, you stop playing their game and start mastering your own. Every relationship begins with fire. The excitement, the mystery, the tension that keeps both sides awake at night wondering, do they feel the same way? But for most men, that fire slowly turns into something quieter, something they call love, but what she often experiences as comfort. And comfort is where everything begins to change. You see, at the start, she's captivated by your confidence, your drive, your independence. You were a challenge. You were focused on your mission, not her. And that made her chase you. Not because you ignored her, but because she could feel that your life didn't revolve around her. But once you start falling in love, once she becomes your world, the dynamic shifts. You start prioritizing her happiness over your purpose. You stop chasing your goals with the same hunger. You start giving her everything she didn't even ask for: validation, attention, time, thinking this will make her feel secure. But here's the brutal truth. Security kills attraction. When a woman feels too safe, too certain, too comfortable, her biology starts to quiet the very instincts that drew her to you in the first place. Because feminine desire doesn't thrive on comfort. It thrives on tension. She doesn't want danger. She wants unpredictability. She wants to feel that at any moment she could lose your attention if she stops earning it. That's why in so many relationships, you'll hear women say things like, "He changed. I just don't feel the same anymore. I miss how things used to be." She's not talking about the early days. She's talking about the version of you who had direction, the man who led with confidence, who didn't need her approval to feel strong. When she knows she has all of you, she stops fighting for you. Not consciously, but emotionally. The respect begins to fade. The spark dulls. And soon, she's scrolling through her phone, comparing you to a fantasy that never existed. This is the quiet shift most men never notice. The slow erosion of polarity. Because when you stop being the man she admired, you start becoming the man she tolerates. That's why she suddenly becomes distant, why the affection disappears, why the same woman who once couldn't stop touching you now recoils when you reach for her hand. It's not that she doesn't care, it's that the energy has changed. The leader became the follower, the hunter became the pet. And when that happens, she can't help but start testing you, pulling away, criticizing, creating conflict. Not because she enjoys it, but because she's trying to wake up the version of you she once respected. The shift after security isn't the end of love. It's the test of leadership. If you lose your edge, you lose her interest. If you lose your purpose, you lose her respect. Because no matter how much she loves you, she can only admire the man who never stops moving forward. There's a game that plays out in every relationship, one most men never realize they're part of. It's not physical, it's not financial, it's emotional. And the truth is, whoever controls emotion controls the connection. See, women are masters of emotional communication. They don't need to argue directly to shift the balance of power. They use tone, silence, timing, and attention as invisible tools of influence. Here's how it works. In the beginning, she rewards you. Her smiles, affection, laughter, all of it trains your brain to associate her approval with pleasure. You chase it. You want more of it. You start adjusting your behavior to keep it coming. It's not manipulation. It's instinct. But over time, those rewards start to fade. Not all at once. Slowly. She pulls back the affection, delays the responses, changes the energy. And you feel it immediately. That's when most men panic. They over-explain, over-text, over-give. They start chasing the validation they once got effortlessly. And right there, in that subtle emotional shift, the power dynamic flips. Because the moment you start reacting to her distance instead of maintaining your composure, you've given her leverage. Now, her emotions, or lack of them, control yours. This is how emotional leverage works. She doesn't have to yell, threaten, or demand. All she has to do is withdraw warmth, and your brain scrambles to restore it. Why? Because men are logical, but love makes them emotional. When a woman pulls away, it feels like rejection, and men interpret rejection as failure. That's why you'll see even the strongest men lose their composure trying to fix what isn't broken. But here's the secret. A woman doesn't lose respect for a man because he feels deeply. She loses respect because he can't control those feelings. When she sees that her silence, her moods, her distance can make you beg, chase, or overcompensate. She stops admiring you. Not because she's cruel, but because she's wired to respect the man whose emotions remain steady regardless of hers. The man who doesn't react to withdrawal, but responds with calm detachment. The man who doesn't chase, but simply says, "If your energy changes, I'll match it." That kind of man terrifies her and attracts her. Because in that moment, the power shifts again. Back to you. You've shown emotional control. You've shown strength without aggression, dominance without ego. You've proven that you are not addicted to her affection. And that's the paradox of emotional leverage. The man who doesn't need control naturally has it. Once you understand that dynamic, no argument, no distance, no silent treatment can shake you. Because you'll finally realize emotional mastery isn't about winning against women. It's about never losing yourself. Every man eventually reaches a moment he never forgets. It's not just heartbreak, it's awakening. It's that night when the texts stop coming, when the affection fades, when you look at the woman you gave everything to and realize she doesn't look at you the same way anymore. At first, you deny it. You tell yourself she's just stressed. You double down, buying gifts, planning dates, trying harder. But the harder you try, the colder she becomes. That's when the truth hits. You're the only one fighting for something that's already gone. Every man experiences this turning point differently. For some, it's the breakup. For others, it's betrayal. And for a few, it's the slow realization that she fell out of love long before she left. That moment changes a man forever. Because it's the first time he sees love for what it is. Not as the movies paint it, not as he was raised to believe it, but as it truly functions in the modern world. Conditional, fragile, transactional. It's the moment you understand that your effort can't buy emotion, that your loyalty doesn't guarantee hers, that no amount of stability, kindness, or sacrifice can force someone to value what they've already taken for granted. And in that silence, that deep, gut-wrenching stillness, something powerful begins to shift inside you. You stop asking why. You stop chasing explanations or closure. Because you finally realize there's no logic in emotions. That's when the mask drops. You see her not as an angel or a villain, but as a human being driven by emotion, biology, and instinct, just like you. And that realization, as painful as it is, becomes the seed of strength. This is the wake-up call. The day a man's illusion of love dies, and his understanding of human nature begins. It's when you learn that your value as a man isn't determined by how much you give, but by how much you withhold from the undeserving. That respect must come before love, or it won't last. That a woman doesn't stay because you need her. She stays because she feels that you could walk away if she stops earning her place. It's a harsh lesson, but it's the foundation of masculine growth. Because the man who's never been broken can't be truly disciplined. And the man who's never lost everything he loved never learns how to love himself properly. The wake-up call isn't the end of your story, it's the start of it. It's the moment your heart stops bleeding and starts building. The moment you stop living for validation and start living for vision. Because every strong man you've ever admired once stood exactly where you are right now, staring into the wreckage of what he thought love was, and choosing to rise anyway. Every man eventually reaches a moment he never forgets. It's not just heartbreak, it's awakening. It's that night when the texts stop coming, when the affection fades, when you look at the woman you gave everything to, and realize she doesn't look at you the same way anymore. At first, you deny it. You tell yourself she's just stressed. You double down, buying gifts, planning dates, trying harder. But the harder you try, the colder she becomes. That's when the truth hits. You're the only one fighting for something that's already gone. Every man experiences this turning point differently. For some, it's the breakup. For others, it's betrayal. And for a few, it's the slow realization that she fell out of love long before she left. That moment changes a man forever. Because it's the first time he sees love for what it is. Not as the movies paint it, not as he was raised to believe it, but as it truly functions in the modern world. Conditional, fragile, transactional. It's the moment you understand that your effort can't buy emotion, that your loyalty doesn't guarantee hers, that no amount of stability, kindness, or sacrifice can force someone to value what they've already taken for granted. And in that silence, that deep, gut-wrenching stillness, something powerful begins to shift inside you. You stop asking why. You stop chasing explanations or closure. Because you finally realize there's no logic in emotions. That's when the mask drops. You see her not as an angel or a villain, but as a human being driven by emotion, biology, and instinct, just like you. And that realization, as painful as it is, becomes the seed of strength. This is the wake-up call. The day a man's illusion of love dies, and his understanding of human nature begins. It's when you learn that your value as a man isn't determined by how much you give, but by how much you withhold from the undeserving. That respect must come before love, or it won't last. That a woman doesn't stay because you need her. She stays because she feels that you could walk away if she stops earning her place. It's a harsh lesson, but it's the foundation of masculine growth. Because the man who's never been broken can't be truly disciplined. And the man who's never lost everything he loved never learns how to love himself properly. The wake-up call isn't the end of your story, it's the start of it. It's the moment your heart stops bleeding and starts building. The moment you stop living for validation and start living for vision. Because every strong man you've ever admired once stood exactly where you are right now, staring into the wreckage of what he thought love was, and choosing to rise anyway.